How's it going, everybody? RJ, the Kraken pick up another big 2 points. Catch this, everybody. They're back to 500.
Yes, they're back to 500. The Kraken win. You know what? You and I win, Dylan. We both win. You know why? Because we don't have to watch another Islanders game for the rest of the season.
Let's
That's the biggest win
go.
in my book tonight.
I think that is a huge win, actually. Not gonna lie, that might be the best news of the night. Even with all the great stuff that the Kraken gave us tonight, it's just not having to watch this team. Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal to watch them. Kraken, though, come out, continue with what they were doing against Carolina a couple days ago, able to come out, dictate the pace of play, control the game really for the first like 50 minutes. Maybe they take their foot off the gas a little bit there towards the end. Islanders are able to get back in it. You know what, though? I'm almost happy or okay with that, RJ, just because gives them that lesson of, yeah, no, if you want to really win and perform well in this league, you have to be playing for that full 60. That seems to be what they've been doing here so far on the road trip, and they kind of get a little reminder of that there at the end.
Right. Complacency is the enemy. And I think that last little stretch will probably help them with that. But that's right. The Kraken, we talked about it so much after the last game, right? That underdog mentality that you have to have, or that they naturally have, I guess, going into a game against a team like Carolina. They face an Islanders team that not nearly as good as Carolina, but I think they kept that underdog mentality, especially to start the game, and you could see the results.
Yes, it's been huge. I'm also wondering how much of this is just Vince Dunn, and having Vince Dunn as one of your puck moving defensemen. He's really calm and collected in the defensive zone. He's able to make those outlet passes, those breakout passes, help this team play the 200-foot style that they want to play. And not only is he able to do that, but it just means that you have kind of double what you had with Brandon Montour. Brandon Montour, another defenseman, able to help you play that style. Now, with having both of them and the amount of minutes that they can munch for you, it basically means that, yeah, through a good solid 45 minutes at least, you've got at least one of those guys out there helping you play the way you want to play, helping you dictate the pace, helping your forwards get up the ice that little bit quicker, pushing the other team back on their heels, not letting them drive and really possess the puck too long in the offensive zone. I mean, it just creates this kind of snowball effect just by having a player like Vince Dunn back in the lineup.
Yeah, you said it after last game. Vince Dunn is so back. I mean, he is really back, and he's a joy to watch. I forgot how fun he is to watch. Just every single shift, the things that he does, the plays that he creates, just getting the puck off his stick, and then also just seeing him wire one past Sorokin for the third Kraken goal. That was just a fun shift from him. And I see, I think, 5 of the first 6 chats Vince Dunn related in here, so everybody else is excited too.
Do you think he just wanted to make sure that he actually got a goal on that after his first 2 shots were deflected in for goals there? It kind of felt like he was just like, damn it, this one's mine.
Yeah, my turn, buddy.
Yeah. But yes, great to see him in there doing what he's been doing. Really, this whole Kraken team is just playing fantastic right now, and they really seem to have learned the lessons they needed to after the Ducks and back-to-back Sharks games there. So that's what's important, and being back at 500, where this team just they are destined for it. Maybe we really shouldn't have been surprised, RJ, after the end of that homestand there. They were just going to come right back and be 500. But we, of course, have Gregory with the super chat to kick us off for this one. Lemon Lime Gatorade time, baby. This game was putting me to sleep. Where was that scoring against the Sharks and Ducks? And of course, RJ, got to do the Lemon Lime Gatorade time, baby. Graphic here as I get my Gatorade all ready to go. I mean, you actually kind of need this one. I know you're feeling a little under the weather. You got to keep the answers short tonight. But I mean, where was all this offense, RJ, like Gregory's asking, while I enjoy the Gatorade? Sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, it literally, I think it just comes down to the Kraken simplifying things, as you talked about in the podcast, earlier this week, right? This new style of game that they have, where they have dedicated themselves to playing a simple game. And I think it started really in the first goal, right? You have the new look fourth line with Mitchell Stevens just circling the puck around behind the net. It's a very simple play. It's one of the simplest looks you get in hockey, right? You have a forward coming in, you chip it in, you get it around the net, you send it to the D. D goes across the other D, and you just get a tip in front of the net. Like, it's a very simple look, but that's the way the Kraken are finding success. And they're finding it also just by outworking their opponent. Like, through the first 50 minutes of this game, they were just outworking the Islanders to every puck. The announcers couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
look, the Kraken are getting to every loose puck. And it was really obvious. And I think that was the big difference. They're simplifying and they're outworking their opponents.
They are. I mean, I talked about having Vince Dunn back, what that lets you do as far as, playing up the ice and everything. But yeah, in the offensive zone, we are seeing them cycle the puck more than we have in a really long time. And the bottom line is that's just been what good teams have done in the NHL and really in hockey in general for what, the last like 60 years, right? Like this is just kind of the way, certainly in the more modern era in the 21st century, that's been what hockey has been, and you just have to find ways of making it work. And the Kraken are right now. I think you did a great job kind of breaking it down there. But yes, you get that fourth line play from Mitchell Stevens and the group he's with. And then you really get the other three lines trying to push and drive possession as much as possible, staying in the offensive zone for just so much longer than we're used to seeing this team, I should say, being able to stay in the offensive zone. I look at the Shane Wright line and the amount of chances that they were able to generate tonight, just the amount of board battles that they were able to win, especially down low below the goal line, just pucks behind the net, pucks in the corners, the amount of times they were able to keep the Islanders from clearing it out and or being able to force turnovers back there. It was really good work from them. Matty Beniers and his line were kind of cooking early on in this one. He got a couple grade A chances. You saw him looking up at the rafters, wondering where his goal was as it went off the poster crossbar there. But you really just have multiple lines right now for the Kraken playing well as they're able to just kind of keep things simple and move the puck up the ice. And that's all you really got to do. And then Tammy here with the other super chat talking about the other element of the Kraken that's going well right now, and that is the power play. Tammy super chat, hey, power play. RJ, the Kraken, they're able to pick up 2 power play goals tonight on two attempts. It wasn't even like they had 30 like in their last group of games. No, they just get 2 goals on 2 attempts tonight, and they looked, especially on that first power play, I mean, like never left the zone.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great get right game for the power play, and I was hoping it would be that. Just I was looking at the Islanders PK numbers earlier today and seeing they're second to last in the league. This is the kind of game where you want to take advantage of an opponent that's just really bad at special teams. And thankfully the Kraken were able to do that tonight. On the first one, I loved the subtle player movement by Matty Beniers as he kind of drops the puck down low to Chandler Stevenson and then gets out of the way. And really, he just pulls one of the defenders over toward him away from Oliver Bjorkstrand, and are able to get that tip from the bumper spot. I love that play. And on the second one, Shane Wright just, Yanni Gourde's screen really deserves a lot of the recognition there, but still Shane being able to find a spot with that special shot that we know he has. I love what I saw from the power play in this one.
Yeah, it looked like a power play that could potentially get something going. And I know, there's somebody asked me on Discord, like, hey, is it bad if I feel like, look, they're taking advantage of a bad PK here. Like how much, like, if I don't feel great after this, is that okay? And I get that, right? And there is an element of that. The Islanders looked like terrible on the penalty kill. They were just completely unable to do anything there. But the bottom line is this is still a good opportunity for the Kraken power play to try things, work on things, get valuable in-game reps. It doesn't matter if the competition's bad. These are still in-game reps for you against people who are trying, right? Just because they're not good doesn't mean they're still not trying and that you still have to work for it. It is still the National Hockey League. And you're able to get those reps. You're able to try some things. And most importantly, RJ, you're able to build confidence. And hopefully that confidence is able to carry over as you play better and better penalty kills moving forward. And I think it will.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing too about the Islanders' super passive PK is it gave the Kraken tons of time and space to practice what they wanted. It looked like practice reps out there, which is great. That's what you want in a real game situation. Like, again, not to take anything away from the Kraken, but that is like the ideal scenario you can get. And I do want to make one more point about this game in general, because look, the Islanders did not play well tonight. The effort was not there. They were getting booed off the ice, by their home fans.
Yeah.
And I think that says a lot. The Kraken could have played poorly tonight and won this game. I believe that, the way the Islanders were playing, but the Kraken did not play poorly. And I think that is a big difference from, heck, even the last game against the Islanders, or a lot of these games in the last homestand that they had, where we talked about, they got the win. They didn't play particularly well, but the quality of opponent means that they're going to win anyway. This was not one of those games.
Right. No, that's an excellent point that you bring up. This was a team that went out there and they worked as hard as they were working in that Carolina game. And they were that way right from puck drop, even though they didn't win that faceoff or any of the next 6 or 7 faceoffs, I believe, to start the game.
That's what you want,
They
right?
yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It's fine. They worked hard everywhere else, and it made more than made up for it. And I just think that that's the really important thing. Was we had talked about this after last game. Okay, great. You were able to come out. You had the energy. You were able to dictate the pace of play. You were able to kind of box Carolina in, not let them get going, all of that stuff. You started on time. We had questions about whether or not in this game they were going to come out and maybe be a little complacent after that big victory, a little full of themselves, whatever. They came out and they played just as hard. It looked no different than in that Carolina game. And really, like I said earlier, it wasn't until like about 10 minutes left when you're up 4-0 that it felt like maybe the foot started to lift off the gas pedal a little bit there. And you know what? You got punished for it and you had to come back and finish the game strong, which I think, like I said, is probably a good lesson for this group. But it is really important that we saw that tonight, and hopefully we see that tomorrow against New Jersey, RJ, because that's a game that you're not going to be going up against a team as injured as the Islanders and kind of down as many star players as the Islanders are down right now, and then potentially down more. Poor Kyle Palmieri, RJ, just
I know.
looking brutal. I know you feel bad, but I don't know if you feel as bad as he looked by the end of this one.
I would not trade my situation for his, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. Light with the super chat here. A Maddie point streak, Shane goal, and Vince Betty points in this economy. Maddie and Shane starting to pop off can change the season. Very good to see. Yes, and I liked when the broadcasters talked, RJ, about Matty Beniers, and they talked about him kind of waking up and the assists that he's had here recently in these last couple of games, point streak that he's now on. And they talked about, like he asked Ray Ferraro, is this a guy that you see being a goal scorer at the National Hockey League level and being that kind of guy for this group where he is a potential 1C and you would want to see that production. And I thought Ray Ferraro did a great job of kind of analyzing Matty's game. We talked about how he's watched him back to his University of Michigan days. And look, Matty's not a goal scorer, right? Like you want him around that 20 goal mark. That should be the appropriate place, but he is not going to be a 90-point guy, as Ray Ferraro put it. But he's the kind of guy who can go out there and match up against anybody in the National Hockey League, and he's going to give you a chance to win against them. And I thought it was really nice to kind of hear that level of analysis of one of the Kraken's younger stars on a national broadcast, because we just don't normally get that. And I know it's not like the most glowing review or anything. It's not what a lot of Kraken fans want to hear about Matty. We obviously have very high hopes for him, but it was just kind of nice to hear like a really honest and educated sounding opinion on one of these guys for a change.
Right. These national broadcasts, the way it's designed, it's not built for nuance. It
No.
really isn't. They have to come in real quick, just kind of get the cliff notes and share those on the broadcast. But it was really nice to see that kind of evaluation of Matty Beniers and, what he is and what he isn't at this level at this time. But if he can string together, I think he's got 4 points in the last 3 games or so, just get on these little bits of runs, even if it's just assists, right? That's going to be enough to look. He's already so good defensively. As long as he can just score it, 50, 60 point clip, he's going to be a productive player.
Right. And he's still getting scoring chances too. I mean, he had 2 really great.
Yeah, there were some left on the board.
Game. Yeah. So I think that's important. On the other side was Shane Wright. Couple very close opportunities in this one where I don't know how he missed the tip in that he had kind of net front there, just kind of barely went wide. It was great for him to actually pick one up in this one, RJ, but it really feels like since he's been back from the scratch, which got to learn a little bit more about some of that experience for him being away from the team, and a wonderful article from Bob Condor on the Seattle Kraken's website today that came out. I very much recommend that to everybody. Since Matty has come back, he is trying to shoot more. He is trying to score more. It does sound like he has taken the message that was given to him from the coaching staff, from Ron Francis, from Jeff Tambellini, from everybody, that, you know what, you're a special kid. Go out there and try to do special things for us.
Yeah, definitely. And great stuff by Bob Condor, as usual. I mean, he's always got good articles there, but this one gave a nice inside look into that scratch for Shane Wright. And yeah, I think the confidence is back. He's shooting it a little bit more, and the power play production too, for a team that really needed a lot of power play help. A lot of the power play production they've had is from Shane Wright over these last few games, the 2 goals in San Jose, and then the one here tonight. The next step I want to see for him, I do want, especially in a game like this, I don't want to complain too much, but he still only had 12 minutes of ice time in this one. In a game where it gets out of hand, like halfway through this game, it was over.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe give him a little bit. And I did see they gave that line a lot of ice time in the third, and Biles, I think, was trying to get him in there more, but I just want to see him get up to the 15-minute mark just once soon.
Just do it. I know I was a little hopeful after last game too, where he got close there. That maybe we would see it here soon, but apparently not yet. RJ, it's just not in the cards right now. I could see it maybe once the team comes back home and you can line match a little bit more potentially. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. As for them being able, if they pop off and how the season can go, if they're able to go. Obviously, the Kraken are going to win a lot more games, RJ, just in part because, look, you're going to be getting more scoring. From anybody right now, you just need more scoring, and that changes a lot of games. But if you're able to have Matty Beniers and Shane Wright's lines going off, and you're able to have a fourth line that can do fourth line things, keep bad things from happening, and you're able to win with 2/3 of the lines out there on the ice, yeah, you're going to have success this season.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry.
For it there. Got a super chat here from Kitty B Kraken. I have my broom out for this road trip. $500 if they make it, they will. Kitty B Kraken putting it on the board here, RJ. That's
only
huge.
2 more games.
It is only 2 more games. Does Kitty B Kraken know that?
I know. Do we? I think we should be fair and disclose this here.
Yes, yeah. But that would be absolutely wild, and appreciate the super chat here tonight, Kitty B Kraken, for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I guess we've got a little bit more extra motivation on these next 2 games. Jeez.
I was gonna say let's we got a message. Who's on the road with the team? We got a message and somehow get this
let the players
through
know,
to them. Yeah. Let's see. And then we got a big super chat here from Elizabeth. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Love the early effort and love to see it pay off. Schwartz grinding for that empty net changed the vibe. Joey looked like Joey tonight too, really pulling for a Gru redemption game. We will see with Grubauer tomorrow night, presumably. RJ, that empty netter from Jaden Schwartz definitely helped kind of seal this game away. It helped reverse some of that positive momentum that the Islanders were building there late. Love the hustle and the energy on that one. Reading that puck could get past Noah Dobson there at the point, and then chasing it down and really having to battle for it there.
Yeah, I loved that empty net goal from Schwartz, and especially when the Kraken did let their foot off the gas a little bit late in this one. That was the goal. That was the play that I think really communicated, yeah, no, we've learned our lesson. I'm going to have this one-on-one battle. I think Dobson had a couple steps on him too. Jaden Schwartz, 0 quit. He made sure to outmuscle him. And Dobson's a much, much bigger guy
yes,
than Jaden Schwartz is too, but he gets that inside leverage, gets the body position, puts into the empty net. Empty net goals aren't always, the best goals, right? But that one was well deserved.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's tough because Dobson has the distance lead on Jaden Schwartz, but Dobson had to turn around and kind of accelerate up. Jaden Schwartz was kind of already going with some speed there, but yes, the concentration to be able to focus on trying to play the puck with your stick, keep it on track for the empty net, while also having to full body physically engage with somebody who is larger than you, and then you still have to be trying to skate as fast as you possibly can. There was just a lot going on there for Jaden Schwartz, and he was able to make it come through for the Kraken. And I got to imagine anyway that the coaching staff and everybody else in that locker room is going to go and give him at least a pat on the back or a fist bump for it after this one.
Yeah, that's the one where you hear it from the bench after. We weren't in the building, obviously, for this one, but that's one where you would hear the stuff from the bench after one like that. Speaking of hearing stuff from the bench, though, I also loved the broadcasters pointed out on that 2-on-1 in the third where the bench was just yelling at Ryan Winston to shoot the puck instead of trying to pass it, looking for his first NHL goal. I thought that was fun, too.
That was fun. Just side note, to kind of go back to the Shane Wright conversation and what we kind of learned from Shane Wright spending a game watching it with Ron Francis, one of those games that he was scratched in, and Ron Francis at one point just bringing up watching the team play, shoot the puck, right? Like the team gets into situations wanting to see the team shoot the puck more. I did like that moment from the article, RJ, just because Ron Francis, he's just like us.
Yes. Exactly.
So good one there. And then also here from Elizabeth, the other part of the super chat with Joey, RJ. Joey looked fantastic tonight. Announcer jinx, because I said it out loud when the announcer brought it up. I was like, oh, you can't be saying that. I know the Islanders really did work hard for that goal there. They outworked the Kraken for those 2 goals at the end there. But still, you can't say that, man. You just can't.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in the announcer jinx, so I won't go all in on that one. I thought people were going to say that I jinxed it because I did tweet 5 minutes to go, 3-goal lead, empty net. Go for it, Joey.
All right, all right. That's not so bad. I
But
don't
that
think
one, that's just
that's not
means go
jinx.
for the empty net. That
Yeah,
doesn't, yeah.
exactly, exactly. No,
They
that's a
get
good
scored
point.
on less than a minute later, but
But
it's
yeah,
fine.
it's fine. But yeah, Joey looked a lot better in this one. We weren't seeing really some of those leaky opportunities that we had seen from these past couple games from him, and I think that that's a big improvement, and that's something that really the Kraken needed to see moving forward here.
Yes, that was very important because you need to get Joey right. You need to get him at least just feeling healthy and okay and fresh. Because if you don't have that, it gets very scary very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. And then I can see this down at the bottom. We could blame you for the lack of the goalie goal, not the lack of the shutout. So there you
Fair.
go. Fair. Yeah.
That's
I think
I'll
you.
take that. I want the goalie goal at home. So if I jinxed it, I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of on point for you here. Yeah, going over to chat here. I want to thank everybody for the super chats, especially that big one there from Elizabeth. As you had mentioned earlier, Vince Dunn just kind of kicking it off. Everybody wanting to talk about Vince Dunn there. I mean, we've talked about him, but just I like the fact too, RJ, that with the 2 early goals, I know he gets the assist on them, and he was more so looking to shoot maybe than find the guys. Although I'd argue with that Bjorkstrand one, maybe he is trying to find Bjorkstrand in the slot there. What I liked about it though is just that the Kraken are starting to go to those areas where you could tip those pucks, because that wasn't really the case before. And I know that's not Vince Dunn being back, and Vince Dunn's responsible for other guys going to areas on the ice that they should have been going to. But it is nice that having him around, having him as a guy who is going to shoot and really shoot along the ice or have low shots that are going to be tippable. It is nice to see those guys get rewarded for it, because hopefully it promotes that not only for them to continue to go there, but for other guys to start going there as well.
Yeah, you hope guys kind of get that message from seeing the success. And as good as Brandon Montour is at getting shots in from the point, and I love his like tippable shot that's kind of up in the air and flutters just right.
Hi.
They're high, exactly. And so it's just a different type of shot and a different type of look than what Vince Dunn will give you often, where it's hard along the ice for those tips. And so I think that does kind of steer guys into different positions if you are open and looking for that.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it makes a difference there, and it was good to see Aaron. Insane what a difference one guy makes. Glad he didn't bother with the Gordie Howe hat trick tonight. Yeah, Vince Dunn, he had the opportunity, RJ, and I think I mean, I would argue should be at the top of the list for most realistic candidate moving forward here. I know Yanni Gord has kind of been considered the favorite for a while, but I think it might be Vince Dunn.
It certainly could happen. I mean, I can't believe that no one's got a Gordie Howe hat trick for this team already. We're still this far in, right? But Vince Dunn has to be one of the leaders for it, but I'm sure glad he didn't go for it tonight, because the last thing the Kraken need is for him to like hurt his hand in a fight or something and be out for more time. They need Vince Dunn healthy.
No, having him back has made it abundantly clear. This team goes when Vince Dunn is in the lineup. That is just something that needs to happen as much as possible. Christian, can we roll over a couple of these goals over to tomorrow's game? Tomorrow's game is going to be interesting, RJ. I'm really curious to see, because I would assume the Kraken are going to stick with the lines that they had for these last 2 games, probably stick with the mentality that they've approached these last 2 games with. I don't know why you would change it, given how successful you've been. I could see the Devils being one of the few teams in this league, RJ, that's going to say, oh, you want to turn this into a track meet? Let's turn this into a real track meet. I'm very curious to see what this ends up looking like a little bit tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to look very, very different than a Kraken Islanders game. The Devils play a very different style. They're comfortable in a track meet, and they're coming off. It's interesting too, from the Devils' perspective. They are coming off of a game where they beat up on the New York Rangers, their biggest rival, and then they had 3 days off in between then and the game tomorrow. And so I do wonder what we're going to see from them, if it's going to be the confidence and a fast start, just feeling good, or if maybe there's a bit of a slow start, given that the Kraken have played so recently, the Devils haven't. I think starting on time is going to be all the more important for Seattle in the next one.
I agree. I think it's going to matter more than it did in this one. And speaking of starting fast on this one, RJ from CJ, looking good on this trip. Happy for Karts on ending his goal drought. I love that goal from Ty Cartier, RJ, because that's a 4th liner goal. That's a Ty Cartier goal, or what you should expect from him, playing the role on this team that he plays, where it's just, engaging physically, kind of going east-west there, gets a stick on a shot that's going wide, and it ends up going in the net. You just kick things off and get your team started with some early momentum.
Yeah, and it's greasy in terms of the area he went to, right? That's the front of the net. That's a fourth liner. That's what they got to do. But I think one thing that might get overlooked is just the skill in that too, because that puck was going very wide.
Yes.
And it's rare that you see a puck going completely wide to one side of the net, and it's tipped and goes completely to the other side of the goalie on the other side, right? It was entirely to the left of Sorokin. It wasn't through him. It was just to his left, and it goes in.
Yeah, I mean,
it looked skill play.
It is, right? Because it wasn't like he was like trying to, get his stick as like with an angle or anything. It was that he was trying to kind of just hook it, right? Like he was reaching out almost like he was fishing to pull that in towards him, and it ends up, sending it back that way. But again, that's just the kind of stuff, like you just go out there, you play that way, you put yourself in a spot like that, and then you let your instincts take over. I'm sure that's what happened with Ty there, and it, obviously gets rewarded. The Kraken are able to score first again. RJ kind of, claw their way out of the bottom of the league as far as starting first and first period goal differential and everything there. That's good to see. Really excited for him ending that goal drought. The other goal drought that's kind of going on right now, RJ, with Jared McCann, where it's, it's not like the longest goal drought in the world or anything, but for him, it feels like an eternity, I'm sure. And there was that one moment, RJ, where the puck goes into the offensive zone, Tanev's offsides. McCann has to stop at the blue line. The puck's like 4 or 5 feet in front of him, and the net is empty for the Islanders, and he can't go and just get it and put it in the net, RJ. I felt so bad for him right there. That's like when a dog loses their tennis ball just on the other side of the fence, and they're just sitting there and they're staring at it and they just can't quite get to it. And it's just like the saddest thing you'll ever see. That's what Jared McCann looked like right there. If Cheddar ever loses a ball across the fence, I'm sure that's what he looks like.
That's great. Yeah, no, I love that comparison there with Jared McCann. And I mean, we talk about the goal drought, but like, it's a what now, 2-game goal drought. It's not that long. I know it feels
it's like one goal in like 8 or 9 games now. So.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. So that is not, how he's normally been scoring, but I think, maybe part of it too is with the line change up and everything. I mean, it's just a different look for him.
Yeah, Mrs. Eberle, let's be real.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I know. I was gonna say no, everybody does, so it's not crazy. David, I was thinking this would be an overtime win based on the Islanders, but we were much better than that. Yes, and it's a good thing we're much better than that, RJ. That's, I think, one of the things that can give you hope in a crowded Western Conference, that this team can at least stay in playoff contention for a while moving forward, is that this is the kind of game you should be playing against the Islanders.
Yeah, definitely. And certainly if the Isles are going to bring the effort that they did tonight, this is a team you should beat up on and be up 4-0 on halfway through the game. The Kraken did exactly what they're supposed to against a team like that.
Yep. And then from Olivia here, I really wonder what happened with Yanni for him to be on the bench, not playing for almost the whole third period. I hope he's okay. I didn't notice anything. I noticed his absence, RJ, but I didn't really notice anything. Like, I don't remember him blocking a shot or anything that would kind of clue me in on what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't notice anything there, although I will say, okay, so Sound of Hockey, our buddy Sound of Hockey, someone from them, I don't know who it is exactly, but they're at the game. It's Darren? Okay, so yeah. Darren's at the game, and he did just tweet out a minute ago saying, Dan said that Yanni was held out for the last 17 minutes for precautionary reasons. Said it gives him, quote, the best chance to play tomorrow after a bump/bruise, which, given that the game had already been decided, the outcome was not in question. Good to do that if there's anything that you might want to worry about. Yeah,
no, that makes a lot of sense. That was my guess. And so it's good to know that, they were doing their due diligence there with him and keeping him out there. And hopefully we see Yanni Gourde tomorrow, because I do feel like the lineup and the way it's all set up right now, RJ, gives this team the best chance for success, especially against teams like this.
Yeah,
like they're going to play tomorrow.
Definitely. And real quick, as I'm scrolling Twitter, because I was just going to get that, I see that Jen has already commented on our post-game post there with loving the dog losing a tennis ball analogy from you there, Dylan.
Yeah. Appreciate that, Jen. From Sean here, super chat, Kitty, $500 is a little rich for my blood, but I'm in for 50. Let's go Kraken. Let's go ECH. All right, Sean's on board with this. we really need this sweep to happen now.
I know, Dylan. Going to be a couple very interesting games here. We're going to be watching them closer than we usually do, and we watch them pretty close.
I was going to say, not like I wasn't invested already, but it might be a little extra something now to pay attention to. I appreciate that a lot, Sean.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Kidding me with the way to go, Sean.
Yep. And Byron asking, did I see Winterton with Maddie? I mean, it makes sense with Yanni being out. Somebody was going to need to pop in on the wing there. Let's see. Edward, Kraken over fish sticks, which is a great reference to the Islanders' old Gordon's Fisherman logo type jerseys there. I like that one from Edward.
Bring it back.
Good. Yeah, they should bring it back. They had the mascot. Did you see the mascot?
Yes,
they had like the fisherman mascot in addition to Sparky. That was pretty funny. Elizabeth now is getting on the train with another super chat from Elizabeth. Appreciate that. Kitty and Sean step it up. I'm in for 100. This is great. Like, I literally don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to come up with stuff here, but like, we've never had anything like this go on.
No, we haven't.
All I can say is I appreciate it.
I think you can see on the screen, my face is getting redder.
It is.
It's not just feeling under the weather.
No, this is wild. I really appreciate it, everybody, and appreciate all the super chats to set it up as well.
Right. That's
it's good stuff. Milo here. Fun fact: Hochberg and Net to start the third, and Joey played in the Sens organization together. Joey actually got his first NHL win. Hochberg was out with an injury against the Leafs, which is fun.
Yeah, that is a fun connection. Yeah, that's kind of fun. And I remember it was last season talking with Joey in the locker room about his first NHL win, and I believe he was telling the story about how they had a big lead, and then they kept, gave up a goal or two or whatever. He's like, oh, no, we're going to blow it. We're going to blow it. No, we're going to blow it. We're going to blow it. And he was so worried, but he finally did get that first win. So good for him. And also just one thing I see, with Elizabeth, with Sean all hopping on this, it feels like the vibes are very good. I want to share something from the good vibes today that the Kraken posted that I found. A great photo of Adam Larson and Vince Dunn. They love doing the post-game selfies, right? I think we all need to see this. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, that's good. That's good
Isn't
stuff.
That great?
Wow, those V's are getting deeper on Lars there, aren't they?
It's out of frame. The V is out of frame.
It's below Kraken. It's below Seattle and Kraken there. That is wild. Yeah. Love the face. I think he's
happy to have Vince Dunn back.
Oh yeah, I love the face from Dunn there. The kind of like puzzle, like he knows what he's doing. That's a good photo.
Can we try and imitate this here? All right, I can't keep the face any longer.
It's good stuff though. And all these people jumping on board with this undefeated road trip anyway, RJ, right? Moose in here to let us know in all caps, what did I tell y'all last stream? What did I tell you? We're going undefeated the rest of the year, baby, from Moose. So Moose was kind of the originator of this, to give credit there.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. We see another couple super chats in here.
Oh man.
Tammy's in for 20 on the sweep, and then Cole is in for 75. Oh my goodness.
And then Kendall, I'm in for 50. This is insane.
What?
Again, I do not really know what to say here, everybody. I mean, other than I appreciate it. And yes, I mean, not for your personal finances, but I do hope that the Kraken are able to do this.
Yes. No, thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm as speechless as you are.
Yeah, no, it's wild though, but I appreciate it. And it does show kind of where the vibes are at, I think, with the community, RJ, and how important these last two games have been. And not just that they're wins, I feel like, but this comes after the team has looked this good. They've come out, they've played full 60. They've started games on time. They have controlled and dictated the pace of play. I mean, this just looks like such a different team than what we saw last week. I think that's really what's, kind of got people going here. Not to speak for everybody when you all have the power to speak for yourself, but I really can't imagine this happening after last week without the Kraken playing as well as they have to kick off this road trip.
No, I can't picture it without that at all. And I think, look, I was there for what I think the first 45 minutes or so before you arrived for that game, where the Kraken played the Sharks and kind of hit that rock bottom really of their
Mhm.
season at this point. And I think everybody was hoping for just exactly this, for them to kind of receive that message, play the right way, and do it consistently. And I think everybody is just so happy to see that. And as Moose is saying, join me in the sweet, sweet delusion. I mean, look, we're all on board for as long as this thing wants to go.
It definitely, definitely. And Amanda here with the super chat. F it, we ball. Thanks for all you do and the community you've built. Appreciate it, Amanda, and you're very welcome. Yeah, and again, we host this stuff, but really the community is the community, and you guys are all fantastic for everything that you do and how you all hang in there through so many losses and all of that kind of stuff. The fact that and also the fact that we've seen some of these names, RJ, in chat here for 4 years now, 4 very up and down years of doing this, I think speaks a lot about everybody in this community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you've been here for 4 years, you have seen a lot. You've been with us through a lot, and just, man, one of these times, actually, I don't think I would ever have that much time in a row. I'd want to just go and like back and just watch all of them, and ride the highs and lows again. I don't think I could possibly do that though.
You'd have to be a lot sicker, RJ.
Yes.
And also have run out of all other content, I feel like.
Yeah. You know what? When I'm in my 80s and just in the retirement home and something, I can't get up out of my bed because my knees don't work anymore. I'll just have them play the playlist on repeat and just relive all of this.
Yes, yes. Jenna here with the super chat. Appreciate it, Jenna. We are Dumbo and Dunner is our magic feather. Oh, I like that reference. That's not one you'd hear very often. I like that, Jenna. And yeah, it is true. Dunn is making this stuff happen for this group right now, RJ. He has been the key thing that has been different since they've been able to up their play here. I know we talked a lot about it earlier, and we've talked about it earlier in the season too, when Vince Dunn was down in that first stretch of games, and we were looking at the splits of this team with and without him. I mean, it's crazy that one player can make that much of a difference for a team and an organization and not be named something like Gretzky or Lemieux or Crosby or something, right? But it's Vince Dunn for this group.
Yeah, and looking at the splits with and without him, the numbers were just so staggering that I think we may have dismissed it a little bit, just thinking that, look, there's no way logically that a player that's not a Gretzky or a Lemieux can make this much difference for a team when he's in versus out. I've seen enough. Like, I really think Vince Dunn is the key. It doesn't entirely make sense, but he just is.
He just is. And it's crazy too, because obviously he's able to make his presence felt tonight. He's got the 2 primary assists on the first couple goals. He picks up the third goal himself and all of that. But it's like I said earlier, it's one of those things where having him and Montour allows you to play the game you want to play for a lot longer in a game. It helps you really establish that, because you don't just have one pairing trying to push the puck up the ice, but you have 2. You can kind of have that go back to back. It really helps the rest of the team get into a rhythm when you do that. But the bottom line is, even before they played this style of hockey, even before Brandon Montour was a part of this group, Vince Dunn was just that guy, and he was having this level of impact on them all. And so I think there is just something special about him, and it's one where the more he's able to have games like this in front of a national audience, RJ, I think that's good and that's better. I mean, who knows how many people are really tuning in to watch Kraken Islanders on ESPN Plus, but we were all there, and we all obviously got to see Vince Dunn do well. But I think it is a solid one, and that's why I thought maybe there was an outside chance for him to make one of those 4 nations rosters.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, if there's injuries, if there's replacements, look, I mean, there's still a chance, is what I'm saying. If one of the Canadian defensemen gets hurt, you've got to think the way he's playing, he's on people's radars. Isn't it Doug Armstrong?
I believe it is. Yes.
And of course was Vince Dunn's GM at a certain point, left him unprotected in the expansion draft, of course. So maybe not wanting to fully own up to the mistake, potentially, especially given that he got his guy Parayko and Pietrangelo. So, maybe, but I think it's something to consider. And I do want to say, Amanda asking again, I say, does he need an A on the sweater? I don't think he does, because just the way this team is leadership wise, it's the same way as the Kraken being a depth-based team. They don't have a superstar. They don't have anyone that's, just totally the guy. I think leadership has to come from everywhere, and Dunn has his own brand of it in the way that he plays, but I don't think he needs an A for that.
I don't think he does either, because I think everybody knows he brings that, right? Like, he is the guy to stand up for other guys in the lineup, like he's the one to go to bat for them. I don't think it would hurt, if it was there. Like, I don't think it would take anything away or that he would start playing differently or anything like that. But I feel like he's one of those, he's leading by example and everybody notices and takes note of that. And I think that's, probably enough. That, and this team has too many A's. Like,
Yes.
I think that's been part of their problem all along, and we saw that it seemed to get solved when Eberle was in there. I think they needed a little nudge from the organization of like one person being the voice and everybody just kind of going with that. I think for right now, there's a little too many A's. That being said, a lot of this veteran group is going to cycle out over the next couple off seasons here. Vince Dunn should be staying around through that. We could still see it in the future for sure. And then Zoe with the super chat here. Now imagine if we have Dunn, Montour, and Evans. I mean, once Riker Evans is able to come back, RJ, you could potentially have a puck mover able to establish this tone out there, the full 60, if you want, if you're Coach Dan Bilesma. That's something that very few teams can say.
Right. And we didn't get to see a whole lot of third D pair Riker Evans before he got hurt. But I think being put in that role and with some plus matchups, right? That's the benefit of having Dunn in, Montour in. You can move Riker Evans to take advantage of maybe some of the other team's weakest competition. And I think it'll take a little bit of adjustment because I think he's so used to playing with Larson and playing those big minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But when he comes back and when he gets some of those better matchups, I think he's really going to shine.
Yep. And Rebecca, RJ, you could take it easy after this W. Maybe just nod and chime in with Adam Larson now and then.
Adam Larson.
You could do that. We still don't know what that's all about, do we? I don't know. It's still going.
It's not
though.
For the Four Nations for Sweden or anything.
No.
I don't know.
It's still going, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, maybe they knew he was going to pick up a pair of assists tonight. I don't know. Or 3 assists tonight. Excuse me.
Okay. If this was all leading up to that, then good on them. I don't know how you connect that though.
Because it's all scripted, RJ. Don't you know?
That's right. Sorry, I forgot. It's like pro wrestling.
Yes. I'm gonna try to do like a speed run here through chat because we're got
so
40 minutes in and there's just so much. Want to thank everybody who's been contributing and all of that kind of stuff. Let's see. Kitty B Kraken, more proof that pulling the goalie doesn't make sense. Way too much risk of an easy open netter versus not much real advantage by the extra man. The Islanders scored twice, but still lost because of the empty nets. I don't know. I mean, on the flip side, you could say that they got 2 goals they wouldn't have without it.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. And I know, the empty net, like why pull the goalie type of thing can be contentious. I'm still in favor of it. I think it gives you a chance to win, whereas if you don't do it, your chance is essentially 0.
Yeah.
But there are much longer articles that better articulate with the numbers and everything as to why it's a good idea.
I was just going to say the analytics back it up. However,
yes,
I have not seen any of those numbers. So who's to say? I have not personally read any of the numbers.
If you haven't seen them, then are they real? Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I haven't done the research. I don't know. Sam, awesome Kraken dub, 4 straight wins and back-to-back season sweeps against the Islanders. We definitely match up well against them. I think this group, particularly in the way that they want to play, kind of making it a back and forth track meet, definitely matches up well against the Islanders. Caveat being, as long as Matt Barzal is out, because he would have helped
to skate with anybody. Yeah. And he can be a difference maker. So that helps that they didn't have him.
Yes. Let's see. And Jake adding, I think, to Ray Ferraro, what Ray Ferraro was saying about Matty Beniers during the game. He did predict Matty as a 65, 75 point guy, which is what I see as his ceiling. And I think that's a good range. Like if the Kraken get that out of a guy that, look, you're primarily putting out there to shut down the opposing team's top players, you're cooking, right? Because presumably you have somebody else who's then going to be your 90 point, 100 point guy. Shane Wright, Berkeley Catton, whoever it ends up being for the Kraken. If you're just talking about like your kind of secondary piece, defensively focused guy being in the 65, 70 point range, I mean, that's the stuff that good teams can be built off of, championship level teams.
Right. I mean, you look at some of the cup winners, especially through like the 2010s and everything where, Jonathan Taves never had a 90-point season or anything like that, but he was a big part of those cup winning teams. But you had a Patrick Kane there to go score. Andrzej Kopitar, fantastic two-way center. Like that's the kind of player that hopefully Patrice Bergeron, that Matty can become I don't know that he can reach the level of those three guys because those are legends. But if you could even just become kind of a poor man's version of that, you're set.
Yeah, definitely. And Fusion Mix here. Saw a bitter Canes fan say, I'm assuming you mean Ron Francis here, loves to draft endless Elias Lindholms, which is funny because I don't think he actually drafted Lindholm, but that phrase has haunted me. Glad for Shane's goal. Yeah, I mean, Maddie and Shane, both defensively focused centers there, like a Lindholm. But I think Shane brings a little bit more offense, and the organization knows that they want more out of him. And look, I have no problem with at least one Lindholm level kind of guy in the organization like that.
Yeah, and on the Shane thing too. I mean, remember from that draft on draft day, like there's nobody who wasn't taking Shane at number 4, given that he fell that far. We're like, okay, yeah, sure. And also one more thing I would say is that maybe gives some more hope to this. Berkeley Catton isn't that. Berkeley Catton is not an Elias Lindholm.
No, Berkeley Catton's as
not.
far from it as you can be, right? Like that's yeah, that is. You're really just going for it there with Berkeley Catton, who I'm watching a lot more of as I'm getting my prospect rankings put together here, RJ, for the prospect chat this month on Patreon. I'm really excited for it now that the rankings are kind of coming together here. I will confirm Berkeley Catton somewhere in the top vicinity of this group.
Ooh, okay.
not to kind of blow anybody's mind with that spoiler or anything. He might be in that 1 range potentially.
Okay. Okay, we'll see where he falls there in that range.
in that very tight small window I gave. Yeah. Fusion Mix, I really like Cartier and Winterton together. I can see Winterton potentially becoming a Sam Steele type of player. I actually like that comp a lot, Fusion Mix, for Ryan Winterton and what he brings. Kind of a guy who can flex to center if you really needed him to, but preferably you can have him out on the wing. Provides a little bit of offense for you, but really a lot of it is just solid defense and being able to move the puck up the ice and just keep it away from anything dangerous.
Right. And the fact that he essentially made the roster, would have made the roster if not for cap constraints earlier this season.
Yeah.
At the age that he's at, I think speaks to that defensive game and coaches knowing they can trust him and put him out there.
Right. And I don't think it's because I've seen people talk about this on social media and stuff. I don't think that Dan gives really any preferential treatment to his Firebirds guys that he's had these last couple of years. I think it's always helpful when you've played for a coach previously. Coaches know you, they know your style of game. That does help for any coach player situation ever. But I really do feel like with guys like Ty Cartier, I mean, he was playing with the Kraken anyway, guy like Ryan Winterton and what we're seeing him play like at the NHL level here, I really feel like it's just been, Disco's putting in the best players on any given night and trying to get the most out of his team. And, I think that it's working.
Yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, as a coach, right, that's what you want to be doing. That's what you should be doing. That's what your job is.
Yeah. Light here with the super chat. So to explain how good our D-core is this year, last season without Dunn, they connected for 109 points. Without Dunn, they're at 55 points so far this year. So yeah, I mean, adding Brandon Montour to this group certainly helped. Riker Evans having a lot more NHL experience under his belt has helped a lot. RJ, I think even just having kind of steady presences like a Josh Mahura back there as a guy who can just kind of efficiently, do the job and kind of get it going has helped as well.
Yeah, I mean, Mahura again, we rarely talk about him because it's just he's always the extra defenseman in the lineup. But the Kraken have had a defenseman missing for almost the entire season, and he's just seamlessly gone back in there wherever he's needed now with Evans out, and he just slides back into that spot, looks good with whoever he's playing with, and it's just been solid.
Yeah, he just great work from him night in, night out. Really excited about it. And then, yeah, more stuff of like from Elizabeth here. I'm excited to see what we look like with Riker, Monty, and Dunn. Do we know what's up with Garth? Mahura has been great, though. I assume this is all still off of that shot block, right?
Yeah, it appears to be. I mean, he was holding his hand. You could even see it all bruised up on the broadcast with the trainer and everything. No official update on that, though, from Dan this morning. So we'll have to wait and see. From the team on the emails that we get, I think it says just undisclosed. So there's nothing really more that we know about that.
Yeah. And then Michael here with the super chat. Okay, catching up a bit. I can commit to 1/5 of the Kitty B Kraken pledge for a sweep. Happy to pay to see that. Appreciate you hopping on board, Michael. Appreciate the super chat tonight as well, by the way. Means a lot that everybody just kind of stepping up and joining in on all this. It's
I
still
know
just
this is
wild.
crazy. I know, blows my mind. But thank you so much, Michael.
Yes. Let's see. Daniel here. I was listening to the Islanders radio broadcast tonight. I just love their old school broadcast style and how thorough and professional their announcers are. They even gave the definition of a Kraken, RJ. That's the fisherman.
Whoa.
They know.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. They know the Kraken. Is that real Scrimshaw? That'd be real Scrimshaw, right?
Yep.
It's no ordinary bone.
Yep. That's I'm sure what they were talking about on the broadcast there for the Islanders. Gotta love it. Let's see here. Love all the wonderful stuff and nice words for us in the community here, from everybody as well. I'm seeing all that as I'm kind of going through. I'm trying to get down towards the bottom, about halfway now. Cool.
Yeah. And there was one that I wanted to point out. Oh, I forget. I can't find it now. I wanted to see who said it or asked the question, but there was somebody asking if this was the first game this season that Maddie and Shane both had a point in. And I looked it up, and yes, it is.
I mean, yeah, it's not totally surprising, I guess, just given they both started a little slow.
But I think that's good enough. I think I'm going to tweet that. I will find whoever
that is good.
And credit you on, but I'm going to tweet that.
Yes, no, that is definitely good. That is a good one for sure. Let's see. Some talk about, because the Sharks got destroyed tonight, and I know people feeling good about that after everything. Fusion Mix, when talking about the Vince Dunn, alternate captain, saying he needs a special badge, not for official leadership, because he probably shouldn't be speaking with refs, but like, what is the pugnacious equivalent of an army medic armband? That is true.
That's good. Yeah, good point. He probably should not be speaking with refs.
That is a good one. Although, RJ, speaking with the ref, or more so probably speaking to the ref, I don't know that the ref was getting a lot of words back the other way. Almost benefited Brandon Tanev in a big way in this one tonight, where he was stuck behind the play, complaining to the ref for not calling the penalty, and then because the Kraken are able to force the turnover in the defensive zone, get it all the way up ice to him, he almost has a breakaway to come out of it.
I'm sorry, Dylan. That sequence was hilarious. I was laughing, and I'm glad Brandon Tanev is okay. Like, you'd hate to see him get hurt there, but he was okay. So I was just laughing my face off here, because look, he goes in the boards really awkwardly. It's scary. And he thought there was some kind of shove from behind. There wasn't. He lost an edge. He fell. That's all on him.
Yeah.
But he's yelling at the ref the whole way back, unintentionally cherry picks there. And gets the perfect pass for a breakaway to get rewarded for it, and can't handle the pass. It just felt like a very Brandon Tanev sequence.
No, it was potentially the most Brandon Tanev like moment of all the Brandon Tanev moments. It was a really funny one. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. I've never seen anything like that really happen. It was great. I do like this. If you do go back, RJ, at some point in the future, whether it be near or far, and watch the early stuff, Daniel's saying watching your early pods will make you mad about how high you were on Mason Appleton back then.
I have gone back and watched the expansion draft like preview and review, and yeah, there were some hot takes there.
I was gonna say I could go one further. Same style
Austin
player,
Wagner.
Austin Wagner. That's exactly where I was going. I was like,
He
you
did
think
not
Mason
turn out to be
Appleton was a thing. Austin Wagner.
He did not turn out to be a 20 goal scorer in the NHL. I will take the L there. The speed, though, Dylan, he was so fast.
I know, he was so fast. Kraken this year could use that speed. Would fit in well with this group.
I guess, as we've seen from like Brandon Tanev last year, speed alone does not a 20 goal scorer make.
Yeah. Let's see, Milo. The Adam Larson thing was a joke about someone on TikTok who would just comment on Lars videos with his name, and it's maybe the funniest thing I've been a part of. Is that really what it is? That's hysterical.
Is that where
the team just completely leaned into that, that is awesome.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for telling us what this is, because as people who cover the team, we probably should know this, but I could not figure it out. I'm not that tuned in with the TikTok.
Yeah, that is a good one there. Let's see. Fusion Mix. I said out loud to my TV, thank God for Catton when the national broadcast was talking about their 65-point stealing for Beniers. Again, it takes different kinds of players to win in the National Hockey League. Like Matty Beniers, just because he's not that great in the offensive zone, or he doesn't project out that way. The work he does in the defensive zone kind of puts him in a category of himself, in a good way, which, sometimes that can be not so good. But we talked about this a lot last year. The advanced analytics and all that kind of stuff, zone exits, all that stuff with Matty Beniers. He's in the absolute tippy top of the National Hockey League as far as being a great defensive centerman already at his young age. So that's good stuff there. And then got a super chat here from Michael. Another question. The second goal looked like Joey put it in himself. Did it look like that way to anyone else? Oh, I'd have to go back and look at it. Was it one where it's just, kind of gets behind him, and then as he's moving around it, he maybe kicks it in?
Let's see. I'm looking at it here. I think he just tried to get, is that the, oh no.
I mean, that was the one where the Islanders had two guys kind of get sticks on it, kind of in the low slot.
Yeah, no, Joey, I don't think, I don't think he put it in himself, because they just batted it in. I don't think that, or because there was the Dobson one where Joey got a piece of it, and from the overhead you can kind of see him get a piece, but I don't think he put it. Yeah, no, it just hits his blocker and it deflects it, but not wide enough.
Yeah. Okay, got a couple things here because it caught up to when we were talking about the opening for the Kraken and the Islanders and Kraken thing. Fusion Mix and Islanders Kraken rivalry would actually be pretty sick on a narrative level. I agree with that. Moose saying with how many ocean themed teams are in the league, there's a lot of narrative potential for the Kraken. Julia, don't mock the creature, lad. That I feel like is directed to you there.
Yes.
And then Cole, because I have said this many times up on the press bridge, Cole, I never understood how it could be scrimshaw when a Kraken should be an invertebrate. The only thing that it could be if it was from the Kraken would be the beak, and the scrimshaw in the video that the Kraken have at the opening does not look anything like a giant beak of a squid or octopus or mythical being in that vicinity. Cephalopod.
Okay, yeah, and I think you have pointed out that inconsistency to me. One of the benefits of having you up there on the press bridge with me during the games.
Yes, they want to get serious about marine biology. They just got to bring me on board. I can do that.
You do it all. Prospect / marine biology guy. That's the pitch.
That's the pitch there. Can you be Kraken here with another super chat? One more pledge. Okay, here we go. Grew playing tomorrow night. $100. Grew gets the S word, RJ. I don't think we need to even, don't even think about it, everybody. He's going to come back big time. I do think Grew is going to hopefully make the most of this opportunity tomorrow night, RJ.
I think so, especially after how that San Jose game went. He's going to want to bounce back. And even more than that, the players in front of him are going to want to play a good game for him, right? You saw what they were able to do in that Carolina game. That's what gives me the most hope, too, is looking at that Carolina game and knowing that Joey, again, as we mentioned, he was a little shaky in that one. I think the guys realized that early on and just decided, look, we're going to put in all the effort to make sure he faces the fewest amount of shots that this team has ever gotten off in the last decade, right? If they can do that against Carolina, I don't see why they can't do something similar against New Jersey.
Agreed. Troy, great seeing the win tonight in person. Go Kraken. Congrats on that, Troy. That must have been a fun one. And you probably had some decent leg room given the way the audience and attendance at that game looked.
Yeah, I hope you moved down a little bit toward the glass. I'm sure you had some chances to.
Exactly. And Lindsey Beniers is the type of player teams covet in the playoffs. Exactly. Matty Beniers is exactly the kind of guy. We've seen so many trades for lesser versions of what Matty Beniers already is, RJ, in this league. Paul Gostad for a first round pick.
Paul Gostad
had to be.
The look I saw on your face, I knew exactly where you're going with that.
I was really can I do this? Can I do this? No, I'm doing it. Matty Beniers is absolutely the kind of player that teams want come postseason time. Milo, we started commenting Adam Larson when they posted him. It's so funny. That's awesome, Milo. And thank you for being a part of this and making it happen for the Kraken on social media.
Yeah. Becca, I saw your tweet there, Milo. And then, I see all the pictures from where it started.
Yeah, Becca letting us know the belt went to Vince Dunn. I think that is very appropriate, very well earned after this one. Northwoods Nick saying it's a tooth. Okay, so it's still Kraken don't have teeth as far as I know. I guess it depends. Maybe in different things. Well, again, if they're like more like a true kind of squid or something like that, it would be a beak. Like an octopus has a beak.
All right. I don't know.
But there's been different. I mean, it's a mythical creature, so
that
it
is
can
true.
kind of
Yeah,
be whatever. You know what I mean? Could be a
right.
cuttlebone from Moose, who looks like he's a marine biologist. Let's go, Moose.
Oh, nice.
Coming in clutch. Let's go.
This is awesome.
Oh, no, I really appreciate that.
Lindsay, we've reached the cryptozoology portion of the post game. Time to wrap it up.
We have. I mean, we are here at about the hour mark. This checks out for us, I feel like. B Love Joey also participating in the Adam Larson party on Twitter. Lol, that is true. Stephanie, it was nice to hear commentators who aren't the usual team make amazing observations about the team. Also, can't imagine being so mad as a home team to actually boo them like the Islanders fans did. I mean, that was rough. We've heard teams booed before on home ice, RJ, and it's New York, so you can read into that potentially. What's crazy is to do it to this Islanders team, RJ, that just has had nobody healthy at any point this year. Like, I feel like it's rough to be booing the line and a half of AHLers that they've got out there. We're just trying to help this team tread water until their bigger guns come back.
Yeah, and I haven't watched a whole lot of Islanders hockey this season, thankfully, but it seems like effort has not been the issue with this team. Look, it was tonight. The effort was not good enough tonight on their end of things, but I don't think that's been an issue all season. If it is, I feel like they wouldn't have any wins.
That's true.
Given how banged up they are, right? It feels like that group needs to bring it all or near it all every single night just to be in things.
Yeah, and Fusion saying it's probably just they're booing Lou really for like all the decisions he's made and everything. That I would buy.
That I'd be on board with.
That I definitely understand. Cole, the beaks are made of cartilage, and that breaks down and decomposes. That is true. So I guess you couldn't make scrimshaw out of the beak of a Kraken. So maybe you would need them to have a tooth. Maybe just one though. But maybe we go back to my Sigmund the Sea Monster idea for the Kraken mascot and his one little tooth in there. Let's go. That's what it is. The Kraken are signaling. They're trying to do it, RJ. They're trying to get the rights, the IP rights to Sigmund the Sea Monster.
I thought part of the idea was that they already would have had or I guess Amazon had.
It was the partner that, Amazon has the rights to Sigmund the Sea Monster. Let's see there. All right. People don't need to hear this go on forever. We've already kind of talked a little bit about tomorrow's game, kind of previewing it. It's really going to come down to the Kraken and whether or not they can come out and continue to play this way. I think the way the end of this game went should mean that they're going to come out there with that effort. I think the fact that they had it at the beginning of this game speaks positively to that as well. They didn't let themselves kind of, get too high up on their horse after the last one in Carolina, RJ. I expect them to come out and play the Devils tough.
You too, and I expect it because we've seen it for these two games. This feels like a different Kraken team, and they should be able to get a win if they just keep this going. And I'm so excited to see what they're going to do next, and especially with so much on the line these next two games too. I'm going to be tuned in and watching, and I just can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it, especially after these last couple. Appreciate everybody joining us. Appreciate all the super chats from everybody. Appreciate the lemon lime Gatorade. Been talking a lot on this one. Definitely going to go enjoy this. What's up?
I just want to say, as you were saying the thank yous, I just want to thank everybody, like personally too, because I was not feeling the best today. As Dylan mentioned, I was under the weather. I have a cold. I was feeling kind of yucky today. For 1 hour, I completely forgot about that. Like, I feel great. I'm sure as soon as this stream ends, I'm going to go back into bed and feel all yucky again. But like, this was an awesome distraction, and just, I don't know, the adrenaline, everything from all of it, just like the highlight of my day. It's awesome.
No, it is. It's like these, especially after the wins or whatever, we get to be kind of silly and have fun with the community and everything. It is always the highlight of my day. I really appreciate it all. I mean, we, said it earlier, right? Like, this community doesn't exist without all of you being who you are and coming in tonight and everything. So really appreciate all that from everybody, and we will see you all tomorrow.